Welcome, fair people of YouTube. Today we are testing out the Sterling Archer prebuild deck that will be coming soon to Shadowverse, together with all the other classes prebuild decks. If you don't know what prebuild deck is, basically Cygames will introduce some decks that you can buy for 500 gems. That is about $10, and the deck is complete. You buy 40 cards, it will appear in your deck list. I believe that would be logical. And you will also be getting in every single pre-built decks, there is one legendary with alter art. What alter art is basically alternative art. Well, nothing to explain here. It doesn't boost your cards, it doesn't change the effect, it just changes the art. So don't get too excited. Anyway, in this deck we'll be having Ancient Elf with alter art. The art is really sick and I will definitely buy this deck just for this art because I have all the cards from the deck already, except for one Lisa. And let's take a quick look at the deck. You can see the cards here. I won't really explain all of them. The only downsides I see to this deck is, of course, you get only one legendary and golds, but if you would be getting more, the deck would be much more expensive, and I'm not sure if that's really friendly to new players, right? You don't want to put so much money in the game before you even get your first deck. And the other flaw is that we have 5 evolution points, but then again, 5 evolution 4 mana minions, but then again it's good for new players because the evolution wars is actually pretty hard. You need to know your cards, you need to know your opponent cards, you need to predict a lot of things, and 4 mana minions that have evolution effects are definitely the most powerful with evolution. So I'm pretty happy to see this kind of curve in this deck. The curve overall is pretty balanced. I would say that the early game is a bit too low for the forest and we have too many 6-drops. But let's take a look at the 6-drops. We actually play Cynthia, that is essential because she teaches you to play around the board together with Blessed Fairy Dancer. We have Master of Canopies that will teach you to control your hand size with fairies, and we have Elf Tracker that will teach you to control your RNG. Because RNG in Shadowverse is very easy to control, you just need to play around the board and you not always can control the RNG. Tia and Forest Archelon will teach you some combo mechanics that are not really important, but you also have Triple Princess Mage to work with the combo. Because these are your only combo cards. What combo is in Shadowverse is basically when you play 2 cards and then discard something happens. That's what I call combo. Its official term is, let me quote this, if at least 2 other cards will play this turn. So I guess that could be just counted as combo, but then again combo would not be fanfare and we may get some cards that are synergistic with fanfare in the future. So yeah, I think that's a safe bet for Cygames, definitely. They can change it to combo anytime they want. And the other thing that I don't really like in this deck is the lack of one card that is the Dark Elf Foira. Basically it's 3 mana 2/3 that whenever this follower attacks, put a fairy into your hand. When I was beginning with the game, the Dark Elf Foira was my favorite card. It carried a lot of games for me and it taught me value of 3 mana 2/3. And I really would like to see the Dark Elf Foira in this deck. They could probably cut the Waltzing Fairy for it, but then again we are getting more silver, so more effective dust in the deck. But Verdant Steward is not really that good, even though beginner players might need wards, because on early ranks a lot of people play aggro, and this is not exactly the aggro deck. Anyway, let's jump straight into the game and see just how good the Sterling Archer deck is. Alright guys, we found ourselves a game. We are playing versus Urias. So probably aggressive deck or burst deck. Without healing beast that is also lacking in this deck, we will have troubles. We'll have to find our tones, but we have only 3 in the deck and use them correctly. We'll mulligan entire hand because we are going first. You usually don't keep your 4 mana evolution cards if you are going first. If you are going second, you can highly consider that. Alright, so we have Sylvan Justice to snipe the 1-drop, I say, because Venia is played on 2 and we are going first. I would really like to go second with this deck. This is much more reactive deck than aggressive one. Let's see, Robin Hood actually counters the bats pretty well. Bloods play 6 1-drops, they usually drop a 1-drop on 1, but you know, you can never be sure. If he plays Venya, we have to play on curve, I mean off curve, and kill it with Sylvan Justice. Since he played this, we may opt to play Waltzing Fairy, but then again we'll lose a lot of health. We cannot lose health versus Blood, their burst potential is way too high. We'll play the Fairy, sure. So basically our goal is to draw our Elven Princess Mage on 5, evolve her and play Tia on 6. For now, let's just play Waltzing Fairy. Oh, there is EPM, alright, that's very good for us. We'll not play it yet, because if we put it on board, he can evolve over it. And, you know, it will just die, we cannot evolve it then. We have to keep it. The dream, even if you are going first, if you play Elven Princess on Mage, and on 5 you evolve her, you get 2 0-mana fairies. That's what the card does, and you can use these 0-mana fairies to combo Crystallia Tia on 5. Yeah, but this card, implicates that the deck is more controlled than aggro, which I'm happy about, and this would also kill our EPM if he played her. What will he trade? Probably the 4-5, even though he might play around our evolution point, as he does. So how do we approach this? We probably will not play EPM here, it will delay our Tia, but then again we can play her on 7 anyway. I think we'll evolve our Verdant Steward into it. It will also set up us with Taunt. And we'll get 2 fairies from it to help combo out the Tia on turn 7. After we set up board with Tia, if the board is not cleared, we'll try to get some value with Blessed Fairy Dancer. You usually only play it as your finisher, but I'm not really sure if we'll be able to finish this Blood, because if he plays the Wardrobe Rider, he probably plays a lot of healing, including the Righteous Devil, so it's dangerous to put him on 10 health or below. Master of Canopies is actually pretty good here. It will be our 9-9, he may have trouble with removing it. Always when you play cards that generate a lot of fairies, you have to pay attention to your hand size. You don't want to burn cards unnecessarily. Alright, we can get the 9 damage phase, but we won't have any taunt to protect the canopy from... Alright, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Or actually, is it? No, it's not really that good, because if this one would not have taunt, we could evolve it into Queen Vampire, and the effect that is deal 2 damage randomly spread among enemies, it would kill the bats. But right now we have to deal with the wards, so we will play Fairy, Fairy, and Crystallia Tia with combo. We'll evolve the Eve that it summons. And we will probably evolve one of our cards to get to the face with Lord of Canopies. It will activate his Vengeance, but we will have Tia to protect us from Righteous Devil. Righteous Devil basically says if you are on 10 HP or below, it gains Farfare, gain Drain and Bane, so it could be evolved and rushed into our Master of Canopies. Since we have Taunt, he cannot evolve it and rush into our Master of Canopies, because he still needs to deal with the Taunt, and his only way to deal with the Taunt would be then Spell or Queen Vampire Evolution. The only thing that bothers me is that he may play Angelic Barrage and Righteous Devil. With trade with Queen Vampire into this and Barrage, it will kill our entire board, followed by Righteous Devil trade into Master of Canopies. But what I am going to do is evolve Tia, because first of all we get to hit his face with Master of Canopies, second of all Tia doesn't die to Barrage, and third of all he has to choose between killing Tia and Master of Canopies. Tia is... alright, he can kill all with Revelation, but Master of Canopies actually survives that. He will evolve Venya into it, that's alright. We are out of our evolution points, so Ewell and Elven Princess Mage are just flat on 4 mana 3/4, which are pretty weak. We cannot deal with this Vampy. Oh wait, he's training it, what am I talking about? Alright, we can play the Grand Archer Selwyn, but I think we'll keep it for later, because we have much better target for it. I just think we'll play our 4-drops here. They will not be useful anymore, unless we get to hit face with them. This way we are putting 6 damage on the board, we need only 1 more damage, because Blessed Fairy Dancer gives us 2 damage on the board. And if we top deck 1 more damage, like another Blessed Fairy Dancer, like Cynthia, like Roach, like Nature Guidance, we'll actually win next turn. But I really think he will heal some way here, like Alucard. Alright, no Alucard. Also, he is full on Bats mid-range. I can appreciate it, he is more of a Bats control with Wardrobe Rider. That's a lot of Bats, we cannot deal with them. But we have 3 damage phase left. Oh, if we only had Barrage in this deck. But we do not, alright? Yeah, we also would have Lethal right now. We'll play Robin Hood, that will counter all the 1 health minions, unless he can kill it with a spell. And we'll also Sylvan Justice the Vania, just in case. And we'll play the Fairies to build up our board for Blessed Fairy Dancer's combo. Robin Hood deals 1 damage to any unit that will try to attack, of the opponent units of course. He will revelate the board, that is fine. Well, not really fine, we are kind of out of threats, but we'll have to deal with it. Alright, we can freeze the Bloody Mary. Archer Selwyn will just freeze her. If you read the effect, if she would have 3 attack, we'll bounce her to his hand, but freezing her is good enough. And we'll play the Child Mage just because to increase our chances of lethaling him with Blessed Fairy Dancer. For example, if we top the Roach, we will actually have lethal in hand even if Grand Archer Selwyn dies, assuming the May will survive, which she does not. So can the Archer survive? If the Archer survives, we also have lethal. This is not lethal. Alright, we actually won. Double Blessed Fairy Dancer will take it.
The forest is crying for help. 1, 2, 3, play. 1, 2, 3, play. Enemies sighted.
Alright, so we defeated Bloodburst. That was actually the standard Bloodburst deck. The only non-standard thing is the Wardrobe Rider. Usually you want to play Righteous Devil instead, and Righteous Devil would be much better in his position. We actually completed some quests. Why do we have quests so early? Or was it... No, it was quest. Why do we have quests so early? I don't know. Alright, anyway guys, we'll go into one more game with this deck. Just so you know, we can see some other matchups, right? Right now we're playing versus mid-range. The Burst Blood focuses on controlling the board early, pushing as much face damage as they can, and then finishing you off with powerful Bloody Mary bursts. Like, Bloody Mary plus Direbond plus Razor Claw is actually 11 damage to your face. So, yeah, you want to stay very high on health versus them. Notice also how we are playing on Master rank, so it tells us only good thing about the deck. It can actually win on Master rank. We just proved that. Alright, versus Heaven, we expect... What do we expect? If this is Elena, which is more common right now on the board, will not have use for any of these cards. If this is Storm, Robin Hood would be useful, but probably would die anyway. And we don't keep Elven Princess Mage because we are going first again. I really wanted to showcase the deck going second, but it doesn't seem like we'll have a chance to. Alright, we got Ancient Elf this time. Ancient Elf is one of the most powerful cards of the forest, if not the single most powerful card.
Come on, let's play.
If you are new, what Ancient Elf does is basically it returns all your followers to your hand, but gains +1/+1 for every returned follower. Right, we don't have a target for Sylvan Justice, we'll just attack phase. I played it without fanfare value because we are aiming to return it to our hand with Ancient Elf, and I kind of hoped we'll top deck 2-drop to play along with it, and now our Ancient Elf is valueless. Do we play it? I think we don't, because he will just kill it. Our Ancient Elf, anything that has 3 HP versus Heaven will usually get banished by either Blackened Scripture or Priest of the Cudgel. And they can also evolve any unit over it next turn. Alright, this usually indicates Storm, but some Guardian Sun decks are also playing it. Our hand is really bad. We will not play Ancient Elf into this. Yeah, we're playing way too many late game cards in this deck. But his opening is also pretty slow. I guess we can still come back. Our main goal is to set up some fairies, like double Sylvan Justice next turn into Master of Canopies, into some Fairy Ancient Elf action, into combo with Forest Archelon or something like that. Yeah, this is main reason why I didn't play the elf here, because he can count down the card very easily. Alright, we will have to deal with it somehow. It's 5 damage to our face, very aggressive deck. And he also plays Taunt. Well, that's really not good for us. We'll have to play the Ancient Elf here. This will give us exactly 8 cards in hand, so our Master of Canopies will be full value next turn.
I'm Force Protector.
And we also gain 2 fairies for basically no card. Right, we'll evolve it, trade for the Hound. The Falcon will still kill our Ancient Elf, but it will be left on low HP where Sylvan Justice or Elf Tracker can actually finish it off. Depending on how many minions does he play this turn. He may also just Dance of Death our Elf, and then we'll be left on 8 HP, which is terribly low versus this kind of deck. Brush into probably Blackened Scripture. Well, that's better than Dance of Death because we lost one less HP and he lost 1 more card. Right, but we have definitely to deal with it. I think Master of Canopies is the play here. Yeah, 6 mana 9/9 is usually pretty good of a play, unless your opponent has card removal. We also spent our evolution points to just deal with his board, and we also lost 11 HP already. He has still 2 evolution points, and he is at the point when he can start playing the Garuda. That is the most OP card in Heaven class. Some people may argue that this is Elena, but I really think Garuda is definitely more powerful than Elena. Right, but let's see what he does here. We'll definitely have to trade if he plays anything, unless we can kill it with, like, Sylvan Justices. Because yeah, there is Garuda, we have to trade for it. Oh, he will trade himself and spend evolution point on it. I am fine with that, definitely fine. We will play probably the most power we can get on the board right now. That would mean UL the Ancient and Fairies. Actually, we can play just Forest Archelon. That will give us more efficient mana usage. The downside is it's only 1 unit, but next turn we can deal 4 damage with Elf Tracker and Sylvan Justice. The bad news is he can literally kill us very quickly with Garuda. Yeah, and this is 5 damage plus 2 from evolution we cannot counteract on. Unless we top deck a ward. So, Tia, if you can hear me, I really need you right now. I will also take the Verdant Steward. Like, it's definitely weaker ward, but I will take it, it's a ward and we really need it. I think 1 Fairy Beast should be implemented in this deck, instead of maybe Elf Tracker, or even 2 Fairy Beasts. Right, he will take the damage right now.
Let us conclude.
We cannot deal, well, we can deal with the elf, with the bird with Elf Tracker or Sylvan Justice. But we need a miracle right now. He's probably finishing us off next turn, and we didn't draw our taunt. We'll Nature Guidance first, because it draws us a card. And I am hoping for a taunt, which we do not get, but we have triple Sylvan Justice. I guess we can take it. But he will probably cast another Hollow Dogma on the Beast Colaria and finish us off with 2-1 Flying Bird.
No!
We have a lot of fairies, that's why I think the Rose Queen would be pretty neat in this deck. This deck has a lot of fairy generation and not too much of a combo. So you usually play on curve and keep your fairies in hand just to, you know, fill the curve. For example, if you have only 5 drops on turn 6, then you fit in 1 fairy.
May you rest in
Right,
peace.
that is not lethal yet. That is not lethal. That is not lethal. So we actually get another shot at drawing a taunt. Oh, we would burn the taunt. Well, we lose here. The Beast Colaria will storm for 2, we cannot do anything about it. We can just, you know, do our best and go for it. We'll also show our pro skill with sniping this Sister Initiate with our Elf Tracker.
Escape.
Alright, yeah, that's not skill at all. That's definitely not skill. And yeah, that's the game.
Let's
We'll let him finish it. I will take this moment to talk more about this deck. So this deck is definitely struggling against aggro decks, because Forest at all is struggling versus aggro decks. if you are not playing Ancient Elf times 3, Tia times 3, and that usually is enough, together with some Fairy Beasts. In this deck we only have 2 Verdant Stewards and 1 Tia. It's way too... well, we also have 1 Ancient Elf, but we didn't get to any value with him, because we only play 20, 1 and 2 drops, and some of them are, like, half of them are actually spells. So, overall I think the deck is very solid, but... well, very solid for its price, I would say. But it also gives you the sick Ancient Elf art that I will definitely go for. And it's definitely good enough of a deck for beginners, like, you know, to A rank. And it's definitely strong enough to, you know, teach you the game, and you will not have the feeling that you are losing every single game because your deck is really bad. You will feel the need to improve, and you will find the option to improve with this deck, to improve your plays. If you want to buy this deck and make some changes, let's quickly jump to edit. We'll go to cards decks. First cards you want to put in the deck is... I think the 2 drops are pretty fair. I wouldn't like really change 1 drops and 2 drops, except for you need more nature guidances if you play more roaches. So first of all you are putting in more roaches and Lizas for your 2 drops. I would definitely switch the Waltzing Fairy for 2 more elves. Elf is only 3 drop you need in this deck. I would definitely cut either UL or Elven Princess Mage. That depends on your number of Tias. The ideal situation is that you play 3 Elven Princess Mage and 3 Tias with no ULs. If you have less Tians, you can play, like, if you have 2 Tias, let's say, you can play 2 Tias, 2 Elven Princess Mages and 1 ULD Ancient. Usually you want to have as many Elven Princess Mages as Tias. Verdant Steward is not really bad, but that's the first card you replace with Tia. Robin Hood can definitely keep in the deck, it's a good anti-aggro tech. Elf Tracker, not really too great, but if you are, you know, if you don't have better cards to replace it with, keep it in the deck, definitely. Better cards are probably Elf Knight Cynthia or Grand Archer Selwyn, but my way of thinking is that you replace probably Waltzing Fairy with Roach and Liza. Let's say you are still playing on budget, but you have some dust. So we will be playing 2 Roaches and 2 Lizas for the Waltzing Fairies. You will swap ULs for Ancient Elves. You will swap Verdant Steward for Tias. And you will swap Elf Tracker for Cynthias. You can also swap Forest Archelons for 1 more Roach and 1 more Liza, or some additional 1-drops, or even Grand Archer Selwyn. Grand Archer Selwyn is a card that some people like as a tech, but it's not really the best of the cards in the games, but definitely good enough to play it. So if you like Grand Archer Selwyn, if it was putting work for you in your first games with this deck, then definitely keep him. He will not ruin you games if you draw him, like some cards do. Some cards are literally, if you draw it you lose, like Phoenix Roost, unless you have really built deck for that and your opponent is not drawing well. But overall, the deck is definitely worth the cost, and especially with the Ancient Elf art, alternative art that I really love, and I will be definitely getting it. I would say 8 out of 10 of the deck, and you can expect soon the video of the Heavencraft pre-build deck. I don't think if I have all the cards for it, and I'm pretty tight on the dust. I really want to keep this dust for a new expansion. I will of course be buying a lot of packs. I have almost 4000 gold, but all the dust is important when new expansion comes out, because I will be making some new decks videos, right? Alright guys, that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my Twitch channel, you can find the link down in the description. If you have any further question, it would be best to address me there. Peace out.